everyone, it's Linnea for LDRS Creative, and today's card is really simple but really fun. I'm going to do a kind of pop-up technique that also brings a pop of color to my card. I'm using the Delicate Stems 6x6 stamps, and I'll also be bringing in some other staple dies from LDRS Creative. So to start, I have die cut two of the medium hand-torn rectangle die from some plain white cardstock. One of these we're going to color with the layering stencils, and the other one we're going to leave a black and white image. And you'll see why in a little bit. I'm grabbing that main floral image from the Delicate Stems stamps, and I'm positioning that in the center of this panel. I'm going to be doing some heat embossing, so I went ahead and prepped my panel, and then I stamped it with Raven Hybrid ink. I grabbed my second panel, positioned that in my stamp positioning tool so that it'll stamp in the same exact place, and then I'm going to cover each of these panels with clear embossing powder and heat set them. I like to heat set whenever I'm going to be doing ink blending. That way my base ink, that black ink, doesn't react when I start blending. I'm using the Delicate Stems layering stencils, and these stencils are easy as cake to use. I'm going to just start with that first stencil, and I'm using Marina Madness Hybrid ink to get a nice blue color as my base. Then I'm coming in with stencil number 2, and it is numbered in the bottom right-hand corner, but you could really start with any layer that you wanted to. This ink is Bali Blue. It's kind of like your traditional blue color. So it's going to layer nicely on top of that light blue. I have Key Lime Pie here, and then I'm coming in with just a little bit of 4-leaf at the base of that leaf to give a bit of dimension. I only colored one of my panels, the other one I left. Here are the hand-torn squares dies, and I'm taking the two smallest dies. Second smallest die is in the middle there, and I've kind of turned it to look like a diamond. And then I have this smallest square that I'm going to use to cut out little bits and pieces of the colored panel. Now here's where that black and white panel comes in. I'm going to use that as my background, my kind of card topper. And then the pieces that I am die cutting from the colored panel, I will layer on top. It'll line up exactly perfectly because I've stamped them in the same place. And I'll just be able to bring in these pops of color and this kind of pop-up 3D effect. Once I have 5 squares cut out, just enough to kind of bring together that colored image with the black and white image, I'm going to add some foam tape behind them and pop them up. I wanted to add a little bit more texture to my panel, and my favorite way to do that is with black watercolor ink spatters. So I have a size 6 round brush. It's my favorite to use for spatters, and I just added some black paint all over that panel. I layered that onto a 4 by 5¼ inch black panel, and that goes on top of a white A2 card base. There are lots of sentiments in the Delicate Stems stamp set, but I wanted to have just a simple die cut. So I reached for the Simply Word dies, and this is probably my most used sentiment dies from LDRS Creative. I stacked up a white die cut, probably about 4 die cuts, and then I layered that and offset it onto a black one for a little bit more of that peekaboo pop-up effect. This card is so easy to create, and there's so much dimension. I hope you enjoyed this technique and that you try it out for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!